Uneducated.
Uneducated.
Uneducated. Experts.
With Mink and Jones. Telling you everything that we think we know.
And nothing that we do.
Episode 35.
And we are back finally after like a 17-week absence. What up, Jones?
Yo, what's up, man? What's good?
Chilling, man. My life's kind of like boring without fantasy football now.
Yeah, it's been over for 2 weeks now, and all we have is stinky playoffs, and like I feel like so disinterested in these, disinterested in these playoffs because I don't play fantasy football in the playoffs, obviously.
I've literally opened my Yahoo app like 20 times in the last week to check my team and been like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, but at least you have a goat ship by your name.
Oh, hey, no, shout out to the league. I appreciate y'all. Before we get into that, though, I think we have a guest today.
We do have a guest. It is the moms of the show. The reason why we started this because she bought all my equipment. Otherwise, I would be doing this from my cell phone and a pair of $5 headphones out of a Cracker Jack box. Mom, say hi.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
She's literally waving like we are recording on this, but we're not. Don't worry, Mom. The last guest we had, Tyreek Gaines, was talking to the computer and not to the mic. So it is something that is not comfortable. It's new. You have to get used to it.
Well, hello.
Hey, everyone comes on here.
What's up, bro?
Everyone comes on here and says hi like they're going to respond back.
That is true, too. Yeah, hi, everybody. Like, nobody responds. Nobody even listens to us. Like, nobody listens to it. They already tuned us out.
Yeah, I'm going to edit, what's it called? Like someone saying hi in the background, like hi back to her.
That'll be funny. But yes, my mom of the show. I love my mom. I've gave her so many shout-outs. Bash her a little bit because she's a Raiders fan. That's right. AFC West represent 2-1 now. But she's a Raiders, and obviously, Mink is a Bronco fan. But yeah, she's here, so she's going to give her little 2 cents every now and then. She doesn't want to talk a lot, but she wants to say her little rants when we get on them.
Hey, Mama Jones, you want to know why I'm a Broncos fan?
Why?
So I'm from Cali. I mean, whether it's Central or Northern, however you want to call it. The majority of my family are Raiders fans. And then I like the other half or the other part or whatever are Niner fans. But growing up, I used to like dislike my family because they were all assholes to me. So I picked the Broncos just so I could pick their rival. And I bet my dad's a Raiders fan, so I used to bet my dad every time they played. Now anyone that's been watching football for the last 2 decades would know that the Raiders have lost a lot of games since 2002/2003 season. So you can imagine that my choice was very profitable.
Well, yes, it is.
Know that.
At least, so okay.
It is.
Everybody has a reason why they choose the teams. At least you stayed with your team. You didn't just jump back to the Raiders when they was in the Super Bowl in 2002. They lost, by the way. And the Niners, when they started being good with Colin Kaepernick. At least you didn't bounce back to one of your hometown teams. You stayed with the Broncos. So that's cool.
Yeah. I thought about it, but all the pictures of me and the Broncos gear would have looked really dumb later in life.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, man. NFL's done, man. 17 weeks, 16 games. It's over.
Yeah, it's always wild when you because I mean, at least for me, come February, the end of February after the Super Bowl, it's always like a long wait for the season to start again, and then it comes and like I always just take it for granted because it seems like it's over so fast.
Well, yeah, because it is. If you just take the season and the playoffs, you're talking 16 games, 17 weeks, so 4 months. And the playoffs is about a month. It's taking 5 months. And then you have to wait 7 months again to get back to September. From February to September is 7 months. Just to start this again, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it feels forever. But you follow preseason, OTAs, the draft, and free agency, you kind of can stay with it all year. But, yeah, 16 games go by quick, man. That's why every game matters. I don't care what they say. So,
okay. So let's talk about fantasy, though, right?
Okay.
So I know we had one friend of the show ask, how our season or our league turned out. Just want to let everybody know, your boy took the ship home, took the trophy without a trophy. It's kind of bittersweet actually because I always figured that, well, one, I've been in our league 4 years now, Jones?
4 years, yes, sir.
So every year that I've been in this league, I've made the playoffs.
Yep, that's true.
The first year I came in, I went to the championship and lost, and then I've been so the next year I like barely made the playoffs. Third year I ran the league, took first seed, got eliminated by Le'Veon Bell, and then this year I won it.
Yep.
Right, but you can ask Jones, you can ask anyone in our league, right? Shout out to the league, y'all know who y'all are. I changed my entire MO up. Once I got into the playoffs, I changed my entire MO up. I stopped talking trash. I stopped being arrogant or cocky or whatever. I was really humble. I wasn't responding back to people. I was just like, look, I'm just glad to be here.
You was boring.
You know why? Because I felt like if I was myself, I was gonna jinx myself.
Whatever.
So I was like, I'm gonna flip the script and I'm gonna win it.
I'll say this.
And I flipped the script and I won it.
Of the 4 years you've been in the league making the playoffs, this was probably your worst team. This is probably your worst team. Even with the AB trade, this is probably your worst team. And it's actually the team that, you won the ship with from the 6th seed. So you had to win 3 games, not just a bye week. You had to win 3 games, and you did it. So, yeah, mad props.
And the only week that was close was against you.
Yeah, if you didn't win, I was gonna win. Pretty funny. But yeah.
Well, so now that I've talked about winning a ship, why don't you tell the friends of the show what it's like to lose one?
Bruh,
4-3.
Come on, man. Why the shade that's thrown? It's over with. Yeah, I was in 3 championship games, and I got 3 second place silver trophies. I'm like Michaela Mahoney at the Olympics in 2012. I think it was 2012, when she makes that face because she failed, even though she had to just do a normal stunt and she got a silver instead of a gold. That's me. I'm not impressed. Yep. Yeah, my trophy case looks nice. I have a lot of trophies now. 3 second place trophies and 1 third place, by the way. But I'm not impressed. I didn't get 1 gold ship this year. It's kind of depressing. So thank you for bringing that up.
Mama Jones, do you play fantasy or no? I know you do pools and stuff.
No, I don't do fantasy.
It's probably better because I feel like you would pick a lot of Raiders players.
Oh my goodness.
They were not good this year.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people when they first start off in fantasy, like at least their first year, they draft a lot of players from their team, their favorite team. So, good example of this, right? So my family league, my Uncle Chris is in it, and he's a humongous Chargers fan. And every year he tries to draft the entire Chargers offense, and then like drops them throughout the year. And then shout out to my friend Braden, right I think it's at the Real B Will. He's on that Hold Up Though podcast. In the same family league, this dude drafted like Aaron Rodgers, I think it was Jordy Nelson, Ty Montgomery, and the Packers kicker.
Mason Crosby?
Yeah, Mason Crosby. I was like, bro, why are you drafting the entire team? And he
some
swears
years
he auto-drafted part of it.
I'm just saying, some years it does work. It does work some years. It's not terrible to get a quarterback and a receiver, obviously. And if you have, like Goff, Gurley, and Woods would not have been a terrible trio for like 6 weeks where Woods was putting up double-digit points, and of course Gurley led the league in fantasy, and Goff was a legit top 12 quarterback. So the Packers scored a lot of points. That wasn't a terrible idea. It just didn't work out this year.
I mean, true.
But
anyways,
so I want to dive into what they call Black Monday. Shout out to Adam Schefter. So when week 17 is over, because everybody plays on Sunday, the next Monday is considered Black Monday because coaches get fired. And my mom is already shaking her head because, I just said she was a Raiders fan in the beginning, so her coach is fired. She doesn't have a head coach right now. As of right now, I'm not even sure how many vacancy slots there are, but I just want to ask you, anything surprise you about who was fired or who was kept?
So,
Mink.
I think it's extremely idiotic that the Bengals rehired was it Marvin Lewis?
Yep, Marvin Lewis. Okay. And you go ahead and explain. Explain why you think it's idiotic.
Have you seen the record that he's put them, like his record as the coach? How long has he been the coach?
I think about 15 years now.
Is it? I thought it was like 10, whatever, 10, 15.
It's been,
He hasn't
it's
won
been at least 10.
a
We know
single playoff game. He hasn't won a single playoff game.
But who were the
In that many
Bengals
years.
before he came in?
What?
I said, who were the Bengals before he showed up as their coach?
Who were the Bengals when he was the coach?
At least they're respectable, I think.
I mean, how many times have they won their division in the last 15 years?
Well, we don't have those numbers right in front of us, but yeah, so let me jump in. I understand what you're saying. I think they won the division once, but they did make 4 consecutive playoff appearances. They won 0. They won 0, but they did make it 4 consecutive with a rookie quarterback and rookie receiver. There's been the 2 tandems that made it the last 4 years, 4 of the last 6 years because they missed the last 2. So, yeah, who were the Bengals before Marvin Lewis? They was a shit show. He made it respectable to look at, and then they made the playoffs in what I consider kind of a watered down AFC. It's top heavy, and then everybody else just fills in the 3, 4, and 5, and 6 seeds. We know that, by the way. And but yeah, he hasn't won anything. So you fire him sort of to re-sign him to 2 years. So I don't understand that either.
So, on one hand, right, I don't like when teams fire coaches after a couple of seasons, because when you inherit a team, it takes a year or 2 to even like really fill out the team and determine who you want to keep and who you want to rebuild with.
I agree with that.
But
it's like college
when
coaches
you're
also.
taking 10 or 15 years, and I mean, there's question marks everywhere. Should Andy Dalton be the quarterback?
No.
Should AJ McCarron have been given a shot to start?
Yes.
Should the Bengals have traded AJ McCarron when he begged them to?
Yes. Well, no, because he should be the starter. But just so you real quick, Marvin Lewis has been the head coach since 2003. So you count that season forward, he's been the head coach for 14 years. He's going to his 15th year next year.
Okay, and I also looked up, they've been the division champs 4 years since 2003. So.
Okay.
Boom.
But still, no
Answer
playoff
our
wins.
question.
So I do it. Say no playoff wins.
Yeah.
He has 0.
They've squandered 2 starting running backs that could have been starting running backs on any other team for the most part, with Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill. They got the 3rd running back. I mean,
Joe Mixon.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
I mean,
Meek,
they let
so-
go of. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I'm gonna stop.
you make a good point with that, but you explain to me why teams fire a coach after one great year and then one not so good year, like
Well,
Jack Del Rio.
I'm going to tell you the reason why they do that. And I'm not going to say all teams. I'm going to say why the Raiders do it. If you look up the Raiders since 2002, and when I say 2002, it's the 2002-2003 season. First, let me apologize for having some technical difficulties here, but I'm going to go back and answer the question anyway. So the Oakland Raiders since 2002-2003 have not had a coach on for more than 3 years, despite the record that they may have achieved, whether it be in a single 8-8 season or 3 seasons where you had 1 winning record. There has not been a single coach that has been the head coach for the Oakland Raiders for more than 3 years.
So,
And that is all I remember saying.
all right.
Oh, yeah, ever since Al Davis died, it's been poorly run.
All right, I'm gonna disagree with both you guys. So Jack Del Rio was there for 3 years. So he was there before they made the playoffs. I think they were 8-8 or 7-9, and then they went 12-4 and then out to 6-10. They made this move because they're going to Vegas next year, and everybody who watches football knows who John Gruden is. You got a splash at head coach with a young team going to a new spot, and you want to attract fans. You're trying to build your status up
John
to this
Gruden
new area.
is not a coach.
Hey.
He's been out of the coaching 10 years. He's
Okay,
not a
but
coach.
everybody knows who John Gruden
Who's
is.
going to come to the Raiders for John Gruden?
A lot of people will. I mean, who would go to the race for Jack Del Rio? I mean, let's be honest. I'm not surprised that anybody's firing. Chuck Pagano had to go. You know, it was time for Mike Caldwell. Can't think of his first name, but Caldwell in the Lions. It was time for him to go. You don't win when people sign up to be a head coach. You're signing up for a limited time. You're going to get fired. You're going to get fired. It is what it is. If you don't produce, you're going to get fired.
But my question is, if you're good 1 year to get a 3-year extension and then you're fired the very next year, what sense does that make?
That's your Raiders, and that's John Gruden. That's a John Gruden splash. If they don't get John Gruden, everything else was a wash, and it was pointless to fire Jack Del Rio.
If they don't run Marshawn Lynch...
Oh, let's not talk about what Jack... Well, then blame Jack Del Rio for not running Marshawn Lynch. There you go.
If they don't set up the run, if they don't run the ball to set up the pass, it doesn't matter who the coach is. They're not going to win.
Well, you ain't got to worry about that much longer because Marshawn Lynch is not going to Vegas. He's only playing for Oakland because he's Oakland. So I'm not surprised with anybody firing. I am kind of surprised, but I love that they kept Hugh Jackson, who, by the way, is a former Oakland Raiders head coach. I do love that they kept Hugh Jackson in Cleveland. I don't care. He's 1-31. I don't care. You need chemistry. You need continuity. And it starts at the head coach position down to the 52nd or 53rd play on the roster. They lost 6 or 7 games by single digits, 5 of them by a field goal. They are coming up. They would be okay. They have a lot of draft picks. They pick right. Don't take a quarterback. Oh man, I'm saying right. Don't take a quarterback in the first 5 picks. I don't believe in none of them boys in the NFL draft. But we're talking about coaches, so I'm not surprised by anybody. Let's move on.
Hey Jones, I'm just gonna let you know right now. My laptop stopped recording at like 12:46, so there's gonna be a lot of conversation that I'm not gonna edit out because it was good on your guys' side, but it's gonna be missing some of my stuff. So.
All right, that's fine. You know how to work that. And I'm at 17 minutes now, so we can keep going now?
Yeah, keep going. I already restarted.
All right, too easy. So that's NFL coaches, wild card weekend. And we know who's playing. You want to start with the NFC or the AFC?
I mean, the AFC is pretty whack, so might as well
start. AFC is pretty whack. All right. So I'm not going to ask you to give me your picks. If you want to, go ahead. But we all have seen. All right, what's up?
No, it's going to be Jags and Chiefs. Too easy, man. Too easy.
Yeah. That's too easy. There's no reason why the Chiefs should not beat the Titans. Trust me, I went to the Titans Week 17 game. They tried to lose that game. They tried everything in their damnedest to lose that game and let the Chargers in. And the Jaguars just didn't care to show up that game because they already had everything locked up. So you say Jags and Chiefs. I agree. Ma, do you have a Bills or Titans loving you?
No, I don't. The Titans will lose. The Bills,
who won't have Shady McCoy probably.
Then probably not. I agree.
If there was any team probably going to win between the two, I would give the Bills a slight edge because Blake Bortles can't go out there and lose a game. He can't go out there and lose a game. Yeah. But I want to give you this question. We've all seen the memes going around about the only 4 quarterbacks represent the AFC since 2003 in the Super Bowl. And everybody's saying we're just waiting for the Big Ben versus Brady AFC Championship game. Mink, if there is one quarterback that you would say could dethrone these two and make it 5 quarterbacks since 2003 to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, who would you pick?
Well, just so we can let the listeners know who the options are. We have Alex Smith with the Chiefs, Marcus Mariota with the Titans, Blake Bortles with the Jaguars, and Tyrod Taylor with the Bills.
Look at our options.
All right, so I'm just going to go out. Look, Tyrod Taylor is not winning the Super Bowl. Not with the Bills. Marcus Mariota and Eric Decker are not winning the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs play like the early season Chiefs, their entire team could win them the game. Could win them the playoffs.
Well, remember, we're just saying represent the AFC. They don't have to go win. Okay. All these quarterbacks in the AFC, they didn't win, but
Blake Bortles can win the same way that Peyton Manning won in 2015.
Oh, with the Broncos with defense and not turning the ball over?
Throwing ducks and praying that your defense can just stop the other team.
Okay. You say Blake Bortles. Anybody dethrone Big Ben or Peyton Manning from making this, from changing this picture you see right here?
I don't see anybody. Alex Smith to me is either on or off, so it just depends on which Sunday it is.
All right, but when I say Alex Smith, all right, I don't personally think anybody's going to dethrone. It's going to be Big Ben versus Brady. But I guess if I had to pick, I would pick Alex Smith because of that offense, because of the coach, and because they was started off 5-0. They have already beat the Patriots week 1, so we've seen it happen. So we could see it again. They obviously got to win one game starting this weekend. All right, NFC.
I mean, if you think about it, though, if the Jags and the Chiefs win, then it would be the Chiefs versus Patriots, Jags versus Steelers. The Jags have definitely beat the Steelers already. So, if the teams that we think are going to win, if they win, there is a chance we're seeing the Jags versus either the Patriots or the Chiefs, depending on who shows up in that game.
Well, you're right. Yeah. If our two AFC teams are right, it's going to be a rematch where the lowest seed beat the higher seed. Like I said, Chiefs beat the Patriots and Jags beat the Steelers. So, and they will play next round if everything stays status quo and they win their games at home as they're supposed to. So we could see it. We could see a Blake Bortles, Alex Smith AFC Championship game. I wouldn't watch it, but we could see it. Actually, I would watch it because it's football. But all right.
Yeah, I definitely would watch it. So
NFC, where I believe the Super Bowl is coming to, and we have two good games in the NFC. We have an NFC South rematch, obviously the third time they're playing, but we know we have 3 NFC South teams make the playoffs, right? And Panthers and Saints are playing this Wildcard weekend. Let me ask you a question: is this the only NFC South rematch we will see this postseason?
Not necessarily, and here's why. So, the Falcons have the 6th seed, correct?
The Falcons have the 6th seed, yeah. So if they win, they automatically play the Eagles. They automatically play the Eagles.
So the Eagles' playoffs hope Wentz and left. Well, I guess not the playoffs.
That was a good
Super Bowl
one.
hope.
That's a good one.
So,
that was a good one.
If the Falcons are able to upset the Rams, and it's a young team, so it's able to happen. If they are, and they're able to play that good game, and they play the Eagles, the Falcons can win that game.
Okay, so we have the Falcons in the NFC Championship game.
Yes. And then, no. They would play in the divisional round.
No, you have Falcons beating the Eagles, so we have the Falcons in the championship game right now.
Oh, yeah, I thought you said against the Eagles in the championship.
No, we're good.
Now, the Saints and Panthers, I mean, I would love to sit here and tell you that the Saints are guaranteed to win it, but the way that division has been playing each other, I mean, it's a toss-up. So, either one of those teams, when they go against Minnesota, could beat Minnesota. I mean, it's not like there's a lopside on either of those. They're pretty evenly squared off. I'm still waiting for Case Keenum to slip up and be Case Keenum. So hopefully it's not in the division round.
Yes or no? Do we have a rematch in the NFC South besides Wildcard weekend?
That's all I'm saying. It's possible. It's possible.
I'm gonna say it's gonna happen. I'm gonna say it's going to happen, and it's gonna be the Saints and the Falcons in the NFC Championship game. The Saints will go in to whatever stadium that name is in Minnesota. Great stadium, by the way, but I forgot the name of it. And they will beat Minnesota because they have the better quarterback, and they have the better offense, and they have the better coach. Well, it's an offensive-minded coach, but it's a defensive-minded coach. It'll be a fun game. But I'll take Sean Payton over Mike Zimmerman any day and twice on Sunday, which if they play on Sunday, there you go. That's double my bet. But Alvin Kamara is the reason why. Fun fact, saw this on ESPN, so shout out to ESPN. One day we'll be there. Alvin Kamara, 7.7 yards per touch, not just carry, because he catches the ball too. Highest ever by a running back in a single season. He's a game changer, and he's healthy. Plus Mark Ingram, plus Michael Thomas, and who's the quarterback? Drew Brees. So I'm saying yes, there will be a rematch again with the NFC South. It'll be Falcons and Saints in the NFC Championship game. My mom's shaking her head no. Mom, go ahead.
Oh, I don't think the Falcons will beat the Rams.
Oh shit! She's squashing all this right now.
Yeah, I don't think the Falcons can stop Gurley, and they're a young team. They don't know any better, and I think they're going to beat the Falcons.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I tell you this much. I like Sean McVay, and I like what they're doing with the Rams. They're the baby Rams. It's like when we don't talk about basketball much, but when the baby Bulls were 8 seed and they were beating our teams that made the playoffs, baby Bulls got swept in the playoffs. You got to get there. You got to get the feel of the playoffs. Not one single person on this Rams team has been in the playoffs, to my knowledge.
It's just my prediction.
Oh, I know, but it's just funny that we both give the Falcons a shoe into the NFC Championship game, and you squash that shit right now. Bam, not happening.
I mean, let me ask you this: who wins, Rams or Eagles? If the Rams win, well, actually, no, the Rams. It wouldn't be the Rams. It would be.
If Rams win, they go 3 seed. They'll definitely go play Minnesota guaranteed.
Yeah, and then then whoever wins the Carolina New Orleans game would be a shoe-in for the NFC Championship.
Yeah, Carolina and New Orleans are going to spank the Eagles if that happens.
The Eagles are done without Carson Wentz. They're done. They're not going anywhere.
The Eagles are folding themselves.
Stop, man. That wasn't good. That wasn't good.
I thought it was.
Because you should have said Fozen or Fozen. Did you say Foden or Fozen?
Sounded? I said they're folding themselves.
Folen?
Yeah, like fooling, but full, like Foles.
We do this. You listen to the episodes. He does his wordplay every now and then. The Wentz was good. The Foden was not. But all right. So all right, there we go. My mom has Rams, Saints or Panthers. Do you even care?
No, the Saints will win.
Saints will win. Saints or Panthers, Mink?
I'm going Saints, man. So here's what's gonna happen: the Saints are gonna go to the Super Bowl, whether they win it or not. Will be entirely dependent on who they play. Mark Ingram is gonna ball out the entire playoffs just to leave for free agency next year.
I mean, there's no bigger stage to do it than in the playoffs. Saints in the Super Bowl. I like it. All right, so fine. Let's just do it right now. I guess we can do this next week.
I got a bold prediction. Can I give you a bold prediction? Kind of ties in with that. Mark Ingram does what I just said, and instead of Le'Veon Bell becoming the highest paid running back next year, it's Mark Ingram.
Oh, that's a bold, stupid prediction. Come on, man.
Is it? Is it really? If you think about it, if he balls out and think about if he were to win MVP of the Super Bowl, you're telling me he wouldn't be the highest paid running back next year?
Yes, I'm telling you he would not be the highest paid running back next year because there's a guy by the name of Le'Veon Bell that does more, who will get paid more. He wouldn't even sign a contract until
franchise tagged.
Okay, well there you go. If he gets franchise tag again, he's getting $15 million. Mark Ingram's not gonna get paid $15 million next year.
You say that, but the Raiders need a running back.
They're not gonna give him $15 million next year.
How much they give Marshawn?
Marshawn signed some 2-year deal for what was it? $20 million. He got paid $10 million.
Yeah, $10 million a year.
So if you sign a retired Marshawn Lynch for $10 million a year, you don't give Mark Ingram 15?
No, you don't, because you still got to pay Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack. They're not going to pay him that much money.
First off, you need to just get rid of Cooper now.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying what they got to do.
I agree.
I mean, y'all better hold on to Crabtree because y'all got lucky with that pickup, but
he has not been. I mean, it's been 3 years. I get it, but he has not been what they thought coming out of Alabama right after Julio Jones came out. So you thought, and that's why everybody's talking about this Calvin Ridley dude again. We're talking getting sidetracked, but everybody talking about Calvin Ridley's gonna be the first receiver. Why? Because he's Alabama. He's not even a big dude. Like Julio was a freak of nature coming out of Alabama. Cooper is kind of a freak of nature, but when you line up with Crabtree was a first-round draft pick too before his Achilles injury and his long stint with 49ers. You know what I mean? So you have 2 number 1 receivers, 2 first-round options out there, and Crabtree's showing out over Cooper. He just is. But this Calvin Ridley dude is not. No, he's not what people are thinking he's going to be. Real quick, Marshawn Lynch signed a 2-year deal for. Oh shit! He signed a 2-year deal for only not even $6 million, bro.
Yeah.
He got paid 1.3 this year. He's getting paid 4 next year.
So I'm trying to think.
So hell no, they ain't getting Mark Ingram no $15 million.
Do you know offhand? I mean, I know they're not signing up for $15 million, but I'm saying that's my bold prediction: is that he balls out in the playoffs, balls out in the Super Bowl, and gets a ridiculous contract to be the starting running back somewhere.
Okay.
And then, yeah. So, anyways, Hey, let me ask you a question. So I know it's premature, and well, first off, let me apologize because I'm sure you're gonna hear my kids yelling in the background.
Oh, you
I'm about
good,
to
man?
go out this door and smack one of them because I don't know what they're yelling about. But, what free agent signing do you think is gonna be the biggest splash that's not a quarterback?
Oh, bro, that's a. I mean, off the top, I don't know, because that's a whole other free agency topic we could run, because there's so many this year: quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. I like Allen Robinson to be a steal. Somebody will get him at a discount because of his injury, but somebody will get him at a discount. Jarvis Landry is going to be a free agency. We're going to be a free agent. Kelvin Benjamin, Sammy Watkins, all of those 2014 first round, 14 first round draft picks. No, sorry, 2013 first round draft picks that Odell Beckham was a part of. Those fifth-year options were denied. Sammy Watkins, Kelvin Benjamin, Jarvis Landry was part of that, but he was a second rounder, so he only had 4-year deal anyways. Those are all free agents. Come in with Mark Ingram, Le'Veon Bell. There's so many more I can't even think of, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the biggest, but you have somebody in mind.
You want to dance around the question, and I told you earlier this week, I think Jarvis Landry signs with the Jimmy Guap-led Niners.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this. And I told you it makes sense because of who the coach is and who he has had in that slot position when he was successful with the Redskins and then with the Atlanta Falcons. So, and Jarvis Landry is a big-time receiver.
And you also have to look at the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo was literally like a very close replica of the way Tom Brady plays, which comes from him playing or backing him up for a couple years. And Tom Brady has made a pretty big name for himself the last, I don't know how many years, of having a really good slot receiver.
Yeah.
So you know that has to come into play. So anyways.
What's up?
Or not.
Oh, you said anyways. I don't know.
Switch topics.
I don't really have much else to talk about this wild card weekend. Anything else you want to say?
I want to look at all the stuff you sent me now. I mean, fantasy football is over. Shout out to everybody that won. Shout out to everybody that lost.
I'll say this. Yeah, shout out to everybody, if you're still listening. Shout out to everybody who sent us questions, whether we were right or wrong. We appreciate you supporting us. And I know we were right on some. I know we were wrong on a lot. But, hey, that's fantasy, man. So we do appreciate everybody for the fantasy run we had this year.
And not only that, but just so everybody knows, if by any chance you're listening at, however long we're in right now, we are hosting a playoff pool $25 buy-in. You make your picks by the week. Whoever has the most picks at the end wins. Super Bowl score will be the tiebreaker. Let us know if you want in.
Tell them where to hit us up
at. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Podcast Addict.
Just
you
Google
email
us.
Yeah, you can email us or just Google us. I haven't ran that search in a while. I'm actually going to do it right now, because I have a new phone. So.
Well, before you all sign off, I just want to say that it was enjoyable for me to listen to you two, and I hope that you do it again next year, hopefully with a litto bit more consistency, so it will keep people's interest, and those that listen to the show all the time. I hope that you'll come back next year and share and pass it on, and the show will get more and more popular.
So that's the support from the mom who doesn't know how to speak technology. She meant share it on YouTube and pass it along.
Sorry.
Share it and pass it.
I'm definitely going to go look for a pass it along button.
Yes.
If I can find a pass it along button, we're golden.
I'm old. There's one in there somewhere. Just go back about 50 some odd years.
But
hey, so just so you know, Jones, I just ran the search on literally a brand new phone. It's actually kind of interesting. So I searched Uneducated Experts. First link is Facebook. Second is
Nice.
YouTube.
Nice.
Third is tunein.com. I think we need to look at how many views we're getting there, because I literally, all I do is upload it to SoundCloud, and SoundCloud feeds everything else.
Yeah, it feeds everything else, yeah.
So we might be getting
Pretty
plays
good
on there
love
that we
on
don't
TuneIn.
know of. Yeah, and then the
we
next
might
ones
be.
are Twitter on 4 and 5. One of them is a tweet to Dana White that apparently I sent off after the John Jones fight. So, anyways, well, as always, we are the Uneducated Experts. I am Mink,
I am Jones,
telling you everything that we think we know.
and nothing that we do.
And thanks, Mama Jones, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Have a dope day.